You're watching News 3, the Southern Illinois news leader. Live from WSIL, your News 3 at 6:30 edition starts right now.
And after the first glass shattering, I looked and I saw that tree. And I thought, oh, that's not good. I shouldn't be seeing that tree.
Devastation in southeast Missouri after strong storms leave 60 families with nothing. Hello again, everyone. We begin our team weather coverage at 6:30, where destruction in our area apparently began in Perry County, Missouri.
The wild winds destroyed homes and tossed around cars on the interstate there last night. Here is a look at the damage from the air over Perryville, which suffered widespread damage. News 3's Tia Reinhardt hits the ground there tonight with a family that watched its house fly away right over their heads.
A 3-bedroom ranch-style home now sits in pieces across the fields north of Perryville.
There is the floor to my living room, I think, and it was laid up against my car last night.
A tornado destroyed it, along with the rest of the family farm, before spreading across 13 miles of Perry County. 83-year-old Patricia Huber sat alone inside her home as the storm moved through. Her daughter, Susan, panicked.
And no answer. So I called her house phone. She still has a landline. No answer.
Meantime, Huber's grandson, Alan, put a truck in the barn outside to prevent hail damage.
And then the whole entire building just came down and the front of the building fell on the pickup. I was sitting in the passenger seat, Dad was in driver's seat, and my buddy was in the back seat.
A close call for Alan.
Is what your door hooks to your building to.
While Huber, taking shelter in her basement, witnessed her home of 40 years fly away.
And after the first glass shattering, I looked and I saw that tree. And I thought, oh, that's not good. I shouldn't be seeing that tree.
The entire house above ground vanished.
Home sweet home. The kids all love to come for holidays and we all love to have them.
Huber out without a scratch to tell the story. The cleanup turned into a walk down memory lane for Huber's family.
Do I still look alike?
With friends and strangers coming to their aid.
Thank you.
To help pick up the pieces that housed Huber and her family for 40 years. Roughly 60 other families lost everything, leaving sites like the one here. But the Huber spirits are high. They say with a community like theirs, cleanup will take no time at all. In Perryville, Tia Reinhardt, News 3.
Well, in White County, the community of Crossville got hit hard. This is a view of the damage from above as we rode in the Black Diamond Aviation helicopter. You can see several buildings got flattened there. Authorities say one man was thrown yards away and died in the storm. News 3's Brandon Richards spoke with that man's family and friends.
It took mere seconds for a storm to destroy everything Tom and Debbie McCord spent decades building together in Tom's childhood home.
They'd been married 38 years.
Jim Litton is the couple's brother-in-law. He says their tornado hit at the worst time.
Debbie was asleep and it hit when she woke up. Tom, they may have been trying to get into the house.
Tom never made it inside. Authorities found the 71-year-old's body in this field 40 yards from his house. Jim says everyone who knew him admired Tom.
Just a nice guy, really a nice guy.
Perry McCartney, Tom's neighbor, remembers him the same way.
Oh, he was a great person, good man. He's a funny guy to be around, and I've known him for the longest time. He's a good person, and sad to see what happened.
Perry spent most of his day helping another group of friends clean up. The same tornado that killed Tom destroyed several homes south and east of Crossville, including theirs. The couple whose home was ripped from its foundation managed to make it to the cellar here, where they rode out the storm.
I'm just glad they're okay and everybody's safe. You see things like this on TV, but until you actually see it in person, it just kind of overwhelms you a little bit.
But despite the heartbreak, life will go on here, as will the memories of everything and everyone they cherished. In Crossville, Brandon Richard, News 3.
Well, Tom's wife suffered several cuts and bruises. She was treated and released from the hospital today. So far, no estimate on the cost of damage that the tornado caused in the Crossville area.
Last night's storms brought multiple warnings around the area. Jim joins us with a look at where they developed and where they went.
Yeah, we thought we'd take just a little bit of time and look back at the path of the storm that produced all of the reports of tornadoes. The National Weather Service, by the way, has teams scattered all along this path determining how many tornadoes were involved. We know it was all from basically one thunderstorm, but we think there are times when the tornado may have lifted back into the clouds and then set back down, or maybe multiples on the ground at a time. The National Weather Service is sorting all of that out over the next couple of days, and they'll start to release the reports to us. We'll pass that along. But starting with a look back, now this is from last night, and this is an exclusive product we have here since we just recently upgraded our radar graphics package for you. It's called Shear Swath. So we're looking at a numeric value of the wind shear. You hear us talk about that wind shear when we're looking at radar. We don't see tornadoes necessarily. We're looking for the shear that tells us it's possible. And in this product, it shows up, it gets highlighted in these colors. And just about 8 o'clock, you can see just north of Perryville, where we just saw the damage video from, we saw one of those highlights. And then we put it into motion and it moves along, and then we see a lot more of those highlights. And now we're talking about the Ava area and over through Virgins, and we see a lot of those highlights, and even around Virgins, out of the reds into the yellows. So about 9 o'clock now, it's actually up towards Benton. Benton, not as many reports of tornadoes or possible tornadoes, but very large hail reports coming in from there. And then as it continues across, I thought this was interesting. It sort of splits, and you see there's highlighted now picking up from West Frankfort and moving back in, but then it merges back in, and this looks like a little bit of a quiet period. But then once in Hamilton County and into White County, all sorts of those highlights showing up once again, where we have more reports of some of the heaviest damage. All of that easy for us to show with that new product that you'll see anytime there's severe weather around. Temperatures dropping quickly tonight. It is cold air that has moved in and is going to bring quiet weather for at least a couple of days tomorrow. Chilly in the morning, but with some sunshine, we expect 50s in the afternoon. Even colder than that, though, for as we move on into Saturday morning. We'll take a closer look at that coming up in just a few minutes.
Jim, thank you. In Franklin County tonight, last night's storms leave a home in Royalton just shredded. Video shows the home as News 3 found it last night. The storm reduced the house to nothing but fragments of wood and stray belongings. News 3's Abby Allen caught up with the homeowners as they began to clean up today. She joins us now live from Royalton. Abby?
That's right. Last night it was really hard to tell just exactly where the house sat. Now, just to give you an idea, I am standing right here on the steps of what should be the front door. Now, the door was also found in a ditch over there somewhere. Now, just to give you an idea, the family came back today and they tried to pack up and collect anything that could be salvaged.
I'm very thankful that we weren't here whenever it happened.
It's hard for Autumn Byrne to describe what she saw when she looked at the scattered pieces of her once standing home.
I didn't know what we were going to do. All my stuff is gone. I just felt empty.
Byrne lived here with her fiance and 4-year-old daughter, Elena.
She knew that there was something wrong. She was worried about her Barbies and her toys.
There's somewhere around here, I think, buried in the dirt.
Wednesday, family and friends helped bag what they could find.
What are you missing? My headphones.
The family had left around 6 Tuesday night to take shelter at a relative's house.
We had, how many do we have? 6 or 7 people.
Once the coast was clear, Autumn's mom, Crystal, drove them back to the house to check on the animals.
My mom was saying, let me know when we get close to your house because I get kind of thrown off on the driveway. And she was like, well, this is your driveway right here, but where's your mailbox and where's your house? And I was like, it's gone.
It was just, there was nothing, no walls, no nothing. And it was like shock.
Everything blown away and no sign of the cat or dog, Buddy.
Ended up finding him in the woods. He was just sitting there shivering and looked really scared.
Were you scared about last night? Yeah. Because I thought my animals were gone.
Autumn says she's not sure what she's going to do next. She's just happy her family is together and safe.
We're just going to stay with my parents until we can get things figured out.
Now, the family had no insurance, and the American Red Cross has stepped in to help. If you would like to help this family, I have all their closing sizes and all of that information attached to this story on our website after the show at WSILTV.com. Live in Royalton, Evie Allen, News 3.
Evie, thank you so much. Over in Virginia, Sunrise gave us a better look at a house completely demolished. Last night's storms threw other houses off their foundations. A high wind snapped trees in half and threw building materials into the ground. It left one man's prized car covered in debris from his fallen garage. Locals started to dig out and find whatever they could salvage to cleanup crews worked to clear the roads.
Governor Bruce Rauner spent the morning getting a first-hand look at the impact of severe weather just to our north. The governor toured the damage in LaSalle County. That's where a 76-year-old man died when a tree fell on him. A reported tornado destroyed more than 60 homes and injured a handful of residents in a nursing home.
Got to count our blessings. This could have been way worse. The warning systems worked well. People were notified. And it's wonderful the way the residents in the community helped each other. They got to elderly residents and gave them a warning that the tornadoes were coming.
Rauner also took time to thank first responders for their efforts to keep everyone in the community safe during the storm and the ongoing recovery process. The governor is expected to tour damage in southern Illinois tomorrow.
Now a News 3 consumer alert. The Better Business Bureau wants us to stay vigilant about repair scams in the wake of last night's storms. The Bureau says watch out for fly-by-night contractors who use high-pressure tactics to get deposits but never return to do any work. Check with your insurance carrier before making important repairs and get estimates before choosing a contractor. You can also check out a company's record through the Better Business Bureau. Well, we've got more news of the day coming up, including the very latest on a crash that shut down part of Interstate 64 for hours today.
Plus, Carbondale police need your help tracking down an identity theft. But first, really nice to see some blue in the skies today. It looks like the weather will stay calm over the next few days. Jim's forecast is up next.
Putting accuracy first, this is News 3 weather.
Through this winter season, we've seen a lot of mild weather, and then every once in a while, here comes just a little round of cool weather, and then we bounce right back. We are about to go through one of those cycles once again. Jetstream sorts it out for us pretty nicely. One of the other things to look at as we start with where the jets are stacked up today. We see the northern jet, the cold air trapped by it to the north, but we also see that southerly jet. And notice that they run very close together. Anytime we see the two bumping into one another, especially when they come in at a relatively sharp angle like we see, it normally leads to active weather. And last night it led to some violent weather. Tonight there's still some very strong to severe storms going on in the southeast, and we see that the animation pushes that junction into that region. And then it just sweeps right on out. And by Monday, we're looking at another ridge building and pushing the cold air back well to the north, and not just in southern Canada. Should still be seeing these cooler temperature zones all the way into southern Canada. We're not seeing much of that. We do see a cool down in the west and northwest, but around here, it's going to cool off here for a couple of days, but then we expect temperatures to bounce right back, and we should be warmer than normal by the time we get to early next week and probably even late in the weekend. Radar imagery real quickly running down the line of storms. This is basically what moved through here this morning. It's sort of regenerated, but continuing to move off through the southeast, and warning boxes blinking, as well as a lot of lightning. We have the lightning detection and display on, and you can see it is a solid line of thunderstorms, but it is moving well away from us. Quiet weather coming our way. High temperatures today, and I start with highs rather than lows because these numbers came very early this morning. When we wrapped up coverage of the second wave, it was around 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Temperatures were sitting around 70 degrees. That's where most of the highs came in. Low temperatures tend to be current temperatures, 45 now in Harrisburg, 44 in Carmi and Sparta. Murray is still holding on at 54. Quick check in Campbell Hill. Northwest winds still blowing. Big gusts today, 36. 45 degrees right now, dew point dropping through the 30s and about a ½ inch in that rain gauge. Clouds cleared out just before sunset for just about everyone, and we expect clear skies tonight and mostly clear skies again tomorrow in the afternoon. One little wrinkle. We'll be watching the next cold front You can see just as it approaches Skycast, suggesting we may see an increase in clouds. But clear tonight, temperatures dropping off through the 30s. Quite a change from a high of 70 a little earlier. And of course, most of yesterday was on the warm side as well. Looking ahead, Friday, temperatures below freezing, a high temperature only in the 40s. And then the cool down is done. It's back to afternoon temperatures in the 60s, leading to a chance of rain. Could show up as early as Sunday. I really think it's tied more to Sunday night and Monday.
All right. Thanks so much, Jen. To Washington County now, where Interstate 64 westbound reopened this afternoon after an early morning crash involving a semi and a minivan. State police say it happened around 2 a.m. 4 miles west of the Nashville exit. Investigators say that big rig driver crossed into the left lane and sideswiped the van, sending both vehicles into the median. State police say both drivers and 2 passengers went to the hospital with minor injuries. None of them are from our region. It was raining at the time of the crash. State police did give the semi driver a ticket.
In tonight's Crime Watch, Carbondale police hope new surveillance images will help identify a suspect who cashed several fake checks on the same day, just minutes apart. Take a look. Investigators say the woman cashed the first check at the SIU Credit Union on Giant City Road just after 5 p.m. January 23rd. Now, 8 minutes later, she drove to the branch on West Main and cashed 2 more checks. If you recognize the woman, Carbondale police want to hear from you.
President Donald Trump earns praise tonight for his address to a joint session of Congress.
But some top Democrats say his words didn't mean much. We'll recap his speech when we come back.
I think we were all really pleased last night to hear the president's unifying message.
This president's speech was detached from this president's reality.
The day after President Trump spoke to Congress, 2 top leaders have very different takes on how it all went. President Trump presented a much more measured image during that speech last night. He scored points from experts for his tone as he laid out his vision for our country.
As Kristen Holmes explains, President Trump even lent support to unexpected topics like NATO and even parts of Obamacare.
Seize this moment, believe in yourselves, believe in your future, and believe once more in America.
President Donald Trump striking a softer and more unifying tone during his first address to Congress, starting his speech condemning the recent targeting of Jewish community centers and the killing of an Indian man in Kansas.
We are a country that stands united in condemning hate and evil in all of its very ugly forms.
And showing support for certain elements of Obamacare, including protections for patients with pre-existing conditions. Trump also backing NATO, which he has criticized in the past. By far the most emotional moment of the night came when the president paid tribute to Karen Owens, the widow of Navy SEAL Ryan Owens, who was killed during a controversial raid in Yemen in the first days of Trump's administration.
Ryan died as he lived, a warrior and a hero, battling against terrorism and securing our nation.
A CNN ORC poll of speech watchers showing 57% viewing the speech as very positive.
What the American people saw is the president I serve with every day.
But Democratic leaders are still not convinced.
There's a low bar here among a lot of the media. Oh, well, he wasn't nasty. That is not enough to get America in the place where we have to go.
In Washington, I'm Kristen Holmes.
And the United States Senate today approved former Montana Congressman Ryan Zinke's nomination as Secretary of the Interior. A 68-31 vote put Zinke at the head of a department that manages 1/5 of all land in the United States and oversees management of resources like coal and natural gas, and which animals make the endangered species list. Get ready to hear I Pity the Fool a lot on the next season of Dancing with the Stars.
We'll show you who else will be joining the real Mr. T on the hit show when we come back.
I'm not the real Mr. T.
For breaking news and weather anytime, News 3 is always on at WSILTV.com, on your mobile device and social media.
The new season of Dancing with the Stars will kick off later this month.
The season premiere will make for the hit show's 400th episode. And this morning we learned about the cast. Here's how it all went down today on Good Morning America.
Yes, everybody's been waiting for it all morning long. It's our big Dancing with the Stars party. I'm here with dancing co-host Tom Bergeron.
Hello.
Also did our top news.
That's right.
By the way, my friend. And I gotta ask, who's ready to meet the full cast? And we were talking. You think America's gonna love this cast, right?
Oh, I really hope so.
I think they will.
I think they will too. I think they will too.
Wait, let's not make the people wait anymore, okay?
Let's do it.
Pros, go get your partners and hit the music. I'm excited just from that, and that was just a little taste.
That's right, a sampling.
A little sampling what we're going to get.
Yeah.
All right, celebrities. Are you thinking about that first dance? Are you thinking about that first dance out there? Are you going to be ready for it? You're not nervous at all about that, are you? No? You got it? You got it?
I pity the fool.
Oh, there we go.
By the way, that'll be our season 24 drinking game, kids. Every time somebody says that.
That's it.
Good to know Mr. T is a Cubs fan.
That was quite a production there for that reveal.
Wasn't it, though?
All right, we've got, I guess, a little nicer weather that we can
At
call it.
least more quiet. Some folks, I'm sure, won't be happy about the cool down. If you're traveling, that cool down is all over the map. Now, we're not talking about an Arctic blast. We're sort of moving out of that season. But Chicago tomorrow, if you're traveling north, high temperature, 31 degrees. And even if you're traveling to the south, Atlanta's high tomorrow may only be 52 degrees. Around here, I think we're going to see a lot of sunshine and a temperature in the low 50s.
All right, thanks, Jim. Thank you all for joining us. That'll do it at 6:30. The Goldbergs is coming up next.
For Carolyn, Jim, Darren, the entire News 3 team, I'm Dennis Turner. We'll be looking for you again tonight at 10.